So this video is our final explainer video, and even at that, we won't be getting into actually specifically utilizing what I'm trying to explain. So it's just be more about the concepts of a few of the fields that are left and what they do. And that's the third-party component fields. The reason why I'm not going to get into them in great detail is because they require more knowledge that is outside of just knowing Blockworks. So for me to get into a lot of detail with them would make me have to assume that um, what you're doing, that you understand other concepts that are not related to Blockworks. So that's why for this video, what we're going to do is just explain how roughly what they're for, roughly how they work, and then the assignment will be more to test your understanding of what they're for rather than actually implementing them. So the first one we look at is the Blockworks gateway. What this is this is a field that's designed to communicate with custom code that you might have written. So you would have written code, or someone else might have written code, or you might be implementing Blockworks into a company and they have an IT team with a piece of software that has an API. And what this does is this field communicates with that. So what it does is it sends data from your block to straight to the actual piece of software, and it reads a response, and with that then you can do whatever you want with that response. So for example, I'm just going to load up API currency converter. Um, so here's an example of something where you can create an API, or you can actually get an API from them, and then that that converts currency. So then in the block you could have a situation where you have the value of a currency, 100 euro, converts it to uh, let's just say pounds or something. You get back your value, and then you can do whatever you want with that value in Blockworks. And that's useful because you might be generating invoices or POs or whatever. So that's mainly the whole idea of the gateway, is that you send post and get requests to APIs. It does sort of assume that um, the person using it is working with the person who's created the API. So what I mean by that is it's not very flexible. So like generic online APIs, you'll have to make sure that it's set up that way. But if you do want to use this field and you do understand how APIs work, then we will have another module which focuses on very advanced development stuff that this can be used with. But if you're eager, we don't have that module complete yet. So if you are eager to use this and you do understand how APIs work, then absolutely contact us. So that's the Blockworks Gateway API. So let's just say someone has a piece of software, I don't know, a stock list system or something that has an API, and you want to integrate that with Blockworks. So maybe when you come in here and you put in a part number, it gets the value from the stock system, and then you can use that here. So that's the Blockworks Gateway API. The next one is Bartender SFTP integration. So Bartender is a product that allows labels to be printed, um, and what Blockworks can do is basically connect with one of their options that allow automatic printing. So in Bartender, you'd set up the label, and you'd set up the integration, and then in Blockworks, you can link up with that integration. And so the idea is you can trigger label prints from Blockworks using Bartender. There's not much more to explain about that because it is quite specific to bartender. It is worth noting there are two options. You can download it. For anyone that does know about how bartender works, you can download the file, which triggers a label printing job, or you can send it to a server via SFTP. So there are two options that bartender have for integration. They have other ones as well, but that's the two that this one handles. The next one is the Mindy API. So this is a company that provides image recognition service, but you can train it, so it has an AI concept behind it. You can train it to recognize parts of the image that you're setting up. We'll just try and go to their homepage. So basically, you can train it whereabouts in the page where to read things and what fields it should populate for that kind of data. So as you can see in the video here, it's pulling from certain examples of documents, and then you'd give it loads of samples, and then it would be able to know what to give back based on the document upload. So what this does is basically connect to one of the out-of-the-box APIs they have, which is their invoice one, which is this one here. And Blocworx can connect directly to this and give you back your data. So that allows you to use Blocworx as your document manager for this service. So basically you upload the document here, and what happens is the document gets sent to Mindy. They read all the different parts of it and they give back the values, and you'll have then linked those values back to fields that you have. And that's the map fields with API response. So that's all the fields that they have there for that particular service, and you'll be mapping the local fields to populate based on the response they've given. Finally, there's the file builder. What this does is build a file with data, and puts it onto a location on your server. So this might be a situation where you're integrating with a company or you're integrating with another service, and how they do it is they read a file from a server. So this basically triggers a filtering of data. And so just say we like get a load of data from some other block, just the same way, but it filters it the same way that you can with filtering, normal filtering. And then it builds a file and drops that file to a location on the server. And that's pretty much it. And that covers pretty much all of our things. Anything that I haven't covered is most likely something we are moving into legacy, or it's something we are rethinking or considering removing. But the next videos will be more about approaching projects in Blockworks in general. From here on in, they'll assume you know fully how Blockworks works. Thanks very much. Goodbye.